I watch these demonstrators, and they seem to be part of the same group that when we spoke in LA last year, were part of dragging down Los Angeles and turning it into, this sort of very separate sort of place to the rest of America. When I see all these Mexican flags and Salvadoran flags, it feels to me like really what the game plan here is to let California set its own immigration policy apart from the federal government, which is supposed to control things like immigration policy. How much of an actual sort of, practically almost insurrectionist and separatist vibe is there among these protesters? Because it seems like they simply don't want to obey Washington and a democratically elected president. Are they now questioning democracy, Alex?
Well, I just want all of your viewers to know that these people are part of a vocal fringe minority. If you remember in November, during the presidential election, the two issues that were front and center were inflation because of government spending and also illegal immigration. And a recent CBS News poll that came out last week said that 54% of Americans approve of Donald Trump's performance on illegal immigration. 54% is more than he got in the popular vote. So Americans' malaise with illegal immigration has only gotten worse. And I just want people to know that the majority of people, rational, reasonable individuals, do not agree with unfettered illegal immigration and allowing people who commit crimes, vandalism, assault, drunk driving, people who are here illegally, who break laws. The rational, reasonable individual wants those people identified and deported.
But we've got the celebrity class out in force. Apparently there were a few A-list celebrities at the protests today. Some Hollywood actors, Susan Sarandon, I think, was amongst them. And we've had the likes of Kim Kardashian, Eva Longoria, plenty of celebs, musicians, models, actors coming out, all predictably on the side of illegal immigrants and demonising ICE as essentially Nazis who are tearing people out and kidnapping them and deporting them to the countries. Is that going to have any sort of impact? Because we do have the very influential celebrity class in full force being activists in this area now.
No, their opinion matters not at all, because right now what matters to people is the cost of living, is the electricity rates, is the gas taxes, and why we have to pay $6 a gallon for gas when the rest of the country is paying less than $3 a gallon. So all of these celebrities, these rich elitist celebrities who live in their bubbles, who are insulated from the problems that plague the everyday person, their opinions don't matter. People aren't listening to them.
Oh, well, James, I'm wondering if Donald Trump will be just secretly hoping for these protests to continue on and on.
Well, I think so, because, and I'd love to get your view on this, Alex, here, because, they do seem to play into the Republicans' hand. But tell us also, though, what about Gavin Newsom in all of this? Because Gavin Newsom gave this big speech last week. The New York Times said, "Oh, we finally have a leader for the Democrats. This is him setting up for the presidency in 2028." But Alex, how is that going to work? Because you said most Americans, again, the Democrats have picked the wrong side of this issue. Does Gavin Newsom have a prayer of taking his anti-Trump, pro-illegal message, and that's what it is, essentially, on the national stage, or will he just get laughed off of it?
I mean, he is choosing the wrong issue. If you're going to choose issues that matter to the average Californian, you don't choose this particular issue, because, as I said, you have Californians who are buckling under the weight of higher taxes, higher gas prices, and poor social services. We pay hundreds of dollars for registering our vehicles, but then the roads remain with potholes. And then you see that illegal immigrants are getting free services at the expense of legal immigrants and American citizens. So we are just kind of sitting back and letting them hang themselves with this rope, because if you are the reasonable, rational individual who has everyday problems like high cost of living, like high taxes, when you see your elected officials investing this much effort in people who are here illegally, people who commit crimes and should be deported, when you see that they're investing their efforts and energies in those people and not on us, that is simply a losing battle, and we're just going to sit back and watch them dig their hole deeper.
Alex Balekian, thank you so much for your time.